Can have a look at the French newspapers now. As ever, Florence Villeneuve is with us here on set. Le Parisien, aujourd'hui en France, focusing on how struggling households are going to cope this winter.
That's right, and according to Le Parisien, aujourd'hui en France, they're not going to do so well. They say that 600,000 struggling households are facing gas and electricity cuts this winter. Now, it says that more and more families are struggling to pay their gas bills given the tough economic times. And on top of this, according to Le Parisien, electricity and gas providers are being uncompromising. They're not budging on this issue. For instance, inside, they interview one 26-year-old woman who spent November without any electricity. After a couple of months, she just couldn't pay her bills anymore. She got cut off, and it got so cold in her apartment that she had to move in with friends and leave her small daughter in her mother's care. And in Le Parisien today, there's a cartoon that sums up the situation quite well, where you see a little boy on Santa's lap. There he is. Santa's saying, "Wait, you don't want any toys? You just want batteries?" And the little boy says, "Yes, Santa, they just cut off our electricity at home." And now the government is trying to find a solution to this crisis in the form of what they call a winter truce, so that all households will have gas and electricity during the cold months.
Okay, nice poignant cartoon there. Now, the cover of Le Parisien, but in small print anyway. Two familiar faces, though, aren't they?
That's right. François Fillon and Jean-François Copé, they finally managed to reach a deal. They're back, but in small print today. They both claim they won this election for the leadership of the UMP party. It's been weeks of struggles between them. Now, yesterday, they did manage to reach an agreement. There will be a revote, perhaps in September 2013. But it's interesting to see that when they're not fighting, they don't make the headlines, do they?
Poor François Fillon and Jean-François Copé. Now, tax exiles, of course, was the big story yesterday in the French newspapers. Still in there, though. They've been receiving a lot of attention since the actor Gérard Depardieu said he was moving to Belgium to pay lower taxes.
That's right. And Belgium says that it's reaching out to other French people who want to become tax exiles. Here is Didier Reynders. He's on the cover of Le Figaro today. Now, he is currently Belgium's foreign minister, and he served as the Belgian finance minister from 1999 to 2011. So according to Le Figaro, he knows what he's talking about. So he says Belgium's arms are wide open and that France is paying the price for a tax system that drives French citizens out of the country. Now, in their editorial, Le Figaro says that Belgium looks like a tax haven compared to France, which it calls a tax hell. Now, this is because France is stigmatizing people who create wealth, taxing them too much. And Le Figaro says that on top of this, the government is hoping to have a harmonious tax system throughout Europe. And Le Figaro calls anybody naive who would believe that any other European country would want this.
Okay, now left-leaning Libération, they're looking at education reforms here in France.
That's right. The government says it's one of their main priorities. And here is the education minister, Vincent Payon, on the cover of Libération today. He says that we need to move forward towards a more rigid school map. Now, he visited Libération yesterday to explain his reform, which he'll present to the cabinet in January, and then it will be debated in Parliament in February. Now, it's a major overhaul that wants to shift the system from a very elitist system to one that is more realistic and takes into consideration more diverse social backgrounds. And in their editorial, Libération says that this major metamorphosis is absolutely needed. If not, France is going to face a crisis in the future, because right now what it needs to do is change this education system into something that reflects not only the times, but society in general.
And finally, Christian paper Le Croix, they're focusing on a debate, well, it just never goes away in the French newspapers. It's always there, isn't it? Euthanasia.
It never goes away in the French newspapers, and especially in the Catholic newspaper. Le Croix talks about it quite a lot, and that is euthanasia. Now, François Hollande has commissioned a famous doctor named Didier Sicard to look into this heated debate. Now, he's known to be somewhat of a specialist on ethical questions, and he's going to hand in his report, the Sicard report, to François Hollande today. And there you see the front page of La Croix. So what does this Sicard report tell us about the end of life? And according to La Croix, Sicard says there's no real rush to make a new law. But what we need to do is make the current law more efficient and to focus on helping patients towards the end of their life and to promote palliative care.
Okay. Ethics on France 24 with Florence Villeneuve. Thanks very much. More from, of course, during the day.